and Farewell to Kings over the course of a couple of months. Around that same time, another Rush kid in my neighborhood recommended fucking 2112, quite possibly the greatest record ever. Unless you're a dumb dick. Perusing through Rush bins at record stores, I found their first live record, All the World's a Stage. And then I had to have all the songs from that recording, so I sought out Caress of Steel, Fly By Night, and their self-titled debut. Their first record is one of their weakest records, though. There are some highlights like Working Man and I Think I'm Going Bald, but they lack the unique sound and focus they had later. And really, the big thing is, no Neil Peart. He's the lyricist and drummer, the best fucking drummer, and a massive part of why Rush rules. By the time Signals came out, I was in deep. They were in my top 5 bands. Then I heard Signals. At the time, it felt like it was personally prepared by the members of Rush as a message to me. It was my record from the very first listen. It wasn't as heavy as their previous records, and it's considered the beginning of their big electronic phase, where Geddy and Neil went nutty with electronic drums and keyboards. But I didn't care about that. It was the songs. The lyrics of Rush always spoke to me in ways Van Halen and AC/DC didn't. Smart, complex, sometimes fantastical, other times political, and like Iron Maiden and later Anthrax, with Rush there were literary references everywhere. Mostly Ayn Rand in Rush's case. They went through a Rand phase. Didn't we all? As a teen, their lyrics challenged me. Some songs like Subdivisions made an emotional connection with me that will always be there. In the same way that some of my friends get a lot of their personality and point of view from being an Elvis Costello or a Tori Amos fan, I was a Rush guy. At home, Rush was a soothing balm when I needed it most. Subdivisions, with the lyrics, "In the high school halls, in the shopping malls, conform or be cast out," felt less like the best song ever written about high school and suburban conformity and more like a direct missive from the guys in Rush. Like my awesome Canadian uncles came into my room and opened my cone of sadness and sat down on my twin bed I dangled off and talked to me about growing up and life in a way that my mom, grandparents, therapists, and members of the Big Brother agency couldn't. Indirectly, they helped with my loneliness and teen depression. One day specifically, I had run into my room wanting to cry. I was a junior, and 2 freshman girls had teased me and embarrassed me. At school that day, a girl named Cindy told me her friend Marie liked me. I had a crush on Marie, and I guess they both knew because I stared and pined for Marie every time I was near her. They both saw that and baited me. Cindy said, "I know you like Marie, why don't you call her and tell her?" She gave me Marie's number. I thought, wow, that's cool of Cindy, she's making this easy for me. Awesome, no games. But the whole thing had been a game. I got home and got up the courage to call Marie, only to have her rudely laugh in my face and tell me there was no way she would ever go out with me, let alone talk to me. I was in shock. How did this happen? How was I so misguided? And then Marie's laugh was joined by another familiar laugh, and I realized Cindy was there, and I was a victim of their hilarious prank. I hung up, not angry, just sad and embarrassed. Of course she didn't like me. Why would she? I was a loser for thinking I even had a chance with a popular freshman. I ran down our short hall and into my room where Geddy was waiting to talk me off a ledge. Subdivisions didn't have any answers about how to navigate through the bullshit I was experiencing, but they told me with Nowhere is the Dreamer or the Misfits So Alone that answers existed, and at least I wasn't alone with that feeling, even though I felt very alone. At school, I soon noticed that cool kids were into Rush. By my senior year, it felt cool to be part of this new club at school. Once I outed myself as a Rush fan, other kids outed themselves to me. When I played the first side of 2112 on the PA during lunch, Rush won over a few fans and I made some cool new friends with 3/4 sleeve moving picture shirts and feathered hair. Check out the picture of my wall of Rush in my high school bedroom. Not pictured Van Halen and Motley Crue walls. That kid doesn't have muscle definition or style, but he has confidence. That is the picture of a young man in love with a band and not afraid to tell anyone. That year, the Grace Under Pressure tour in San